All glory to y'all, welcome in. So today in this video, I'm talking about how to find what key my samples are in. So I've sampled something off of vinyl and I want to move forward and put some instrumentation over the top of it, maybe a bass line. So the way I've always gone about that is by using my ear. I could always figure out what scale I am in, not necessarily by being able to name the scale or what note scale that is, but just by eliminating certain notes, process of elimination, and just knowing which ones do sound good and which ones don't sound good with the sample. That's what I want to show today, how I do it with the SP-404 Mark II using the chromatic and scale mode. So I've got my sample on this pad. I want to go ahead and start by, trimming the start endpoints. I'm going to make myself a loop here. Adjust that loop point with the middle knob. Let's take a look at the endpoint. Okay, so that's good. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to be able to loop it. In fact, if you're not working with a loop, that'll be fine too. But just turn your loop on so that you can, and also turn gate off so you can just not have to press to trigger your pad and then move around and bring up some other samples. So I'm going to jump into the browser and start loading up some one-shot instrument samples so I can use my ear and those samples in chromatic mode to determine what key this is in. But very briefly, before I get into that, I want to generally find a tempo. So I'm going to tab tempo with the sub pad. Now this doesn't need to be perfect, just a general tempo. It looks like it's about 75. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. And this will help out later if I want to pitch or change the key. And then also when I'm chopping my sample up to fit it up on the pattern sequencer. I'm also going to hold shift and press pad 1 for this pad and put fixed velocity on this specifically. All right, so just turn that down a little bit. I got my sample kind of looped up now. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can go into the browser and, like, in contrast, listen to some samples, some one-shot instruments that I might want to use in context with this sample. This is a fairly new method for me. Before this, I would usually sample my loop and then chop it up and then chop that up in the sequencer. But the reason why I'm not doing it now in the pattern sequencer is because that kind of locks you up. Once you're in the pattern sequencer, you have to jump out the pattern sequencer to go into the browser and then go select some sounds. Now, you could do it this way. Another workaround that I thought of is just to load up a bunch of different one-shot instruments onto a pad bank and then have your pattern sequencer going, and then you can go through and determine which ones you want to use, what sound you want to use. But I prefer this because I can just freely browse through the browser. So now let's, I'm gonna take a look through my sample pack. So I've got this sample pack called Lifted Noise Stole These Sounds. It's a sample pack of one-shot instruments that you can use in your SP-404 in chromatic mode to add stuff to your sampled beats, bass lines, or leads and stuff. Before I go into the browser, I'm just gonna press the pad and loop it so I can do this in contrast. Samples, navigate there. I stole these sounds, go to my instruments. So now I can hear them in contrast. What I'm thinking is, I got some flutes down here that I like. Maybe this one. I'll put it here on pad 4. I'll go back up and grab a bass. A lot of times I'll just use something like more higher pitched of an instrument in order to determine what key I'm in. And then maybe I won't even end up using that to play lead. Because I like to keep things simple. But I'll translate that over to the bass and go down a few octaves and play a bass line out. So I'm gonna keep this looping and then move into chromatic mode. And then I'm gonna select this note, hold shift, press pad 4 to turn to chromatic mode, And then what I do is I'm going to turn the knob all the way right so that it says -12. A good thing to know is that -12 is C on your keyboard, and so is 0. But I go all the way 12 so I can now do this like process of elimination, see which ones of these notes sound good. And then I'll move into scale mode and then see if those notes fit. Okay, so I've got some notes that sound good, like starting with this -9, -7, and -2. But just stop that to say one thing. Sometimes, especially when I'm sampling from vinyl, I won't hear anything that matches up here. If nothing is matching, if everything sounds like it's out of key with your sample, most likely what that is that your sample isn't exactly, it's probably a little flat or a little sharp. The playback isn't perfect due to the nature of the medium that it's playing off of. If you hold shift, you can do the pitch in a fine tuning and do it by cents. So I'll go either way, like -20 or +20, and then just move back and forth into chromatic mode. To reset that, you can press delete. Since mine are fine, I won't do that, but I did run into that a few times. So I did want to say that just in case you're not finding any notes that are going with your sample. So just be cautious for that. So keep that playing, looping, go back into chromatic mode. And then what I'm going to do is, so the first one that sounded in key is -9. So what you could do is just count. If you don't know the letters on the keyboard, that'll be okay. It helps if you do. So C is -12, C sharp, we're going up, is -11, and then D sharp. So this is D sharp, or you can just count it 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll push the knob in. Now we can see what key we're in, and we can determine that by holding the roll button. So I could just count to 4 and do this and end up C, C sharp, D, D sharp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, C sharp or D sharp is the same as E flat. Okay, so this doesn't sound like a happy key to me. It necessarily sounds more melancholy. So if I press in, I can switch from major to minor. And then also another thing that I do is I like to move the key scale that I'm in. So E flat or D sharp, which is -9. I like to move it to this pad. So in order to do that and move this in increments, like if you do move it like this, it jumps. But if you hold shift, you can move it in increments. So I can put -9 there. So now I'm playing. It sounds like some of these notes are not in the key. So what I'm gonna do is just click again and go back to chromatic. That's one thing I forgot to mention is you want to be in chromatic where it plays every note. So I'm gonna roll that back to -12. I'm gonna go through the notes again. So I had -7 was another one that sounded good. So I'll do that. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. So that would be F, or I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So press in. If I go all the way back to C, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then also I'm going to make it minor. So not quite still. Same process. Move back. Chromatic. And then I believe it was -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Click in. Go back to C. 1. You got to count C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So B flat. And then I'll move this to -2 and make it minor. So yeah, there you go. I've got it in key. So from here, like I could just play leads, or I can go in, I can chop my sample up and then play a bass line, whatever it is that I'm feeling, just mess around and experiment with that. So yeah, just wanted to show y'all how I use chromatic and scale mode and my ear to determine what key the sample is in. All right, so if you found some value in the video, please do give it a thumbs up and share it in places where people might find it useful. If you need some one-shot instrument samples, go check out the Lifted Noise Stole These Sounds sample pack. Links in the description at the very top. You can go get it over on PayHip, and it's a free download, or you can choose to donate any amount that you want, support the channel. There are other links in the description that you could use to support the channel if you're in the market. Still haven't bought your ROLAND SP-404 Mark II Sounds links. I'm an affiliate. Those are affiliate links, and I benefit for a little percentage. Go check it out. Other sample packs in the description as well. DistroKid affiliate link as well, if you still need to sign up and start distributing your music. I hope you're getting it done. All right, till next time, keep on running with your dreams. Stay humble, lift noise. Peace out.